It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Boop, 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 boop. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you something or something with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. I don't want to die. Watch your words. If we really realized how many people around us were truly just in a delusion of not really understanding reality, and even like TikTok and stuff, like they literally go on there and say, you know, I'm delusional, like they brag about it. And it's like, you're saying that you're coming into an agreement with the spirit of delusion, and you are living that out by the choices that you're making, the decisions that you're making, the people who you're dating, the people who you're choosing, the places that you're going show that you are not in touch with reality. You are not in touch with truth in any way. Like you'll take literally anything that's thrown your way because you don't have a grasp on reality, and it's scary. She wants everybody to know she's a witch, okay? She don't care what medium it is, whether it's music, whether it's a movie, whether it's an interview, whether it's whatever. She wants people to know that she likes the witchcraft, okay? Level up loading. Level up loading. Up. Level up loading. Hi everybody, welcome back to Level Up Loading. Fight Feelings, Face Facts with yours truly, Shay. Hey! Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed my last episode interview. You know, it's been a while since I have actually done an interview, so it was nice to bring in 2025 with one. So I hope you guys really did enjoy it. I enjoyed it myself. So today I'm coming to you guys with just a revelation that I kind of was thinking about today as I was in my Bible. I spent some time this morning in my NLT Bible, just strictly a Bible, you know, no study guide or anything. And then I switched over to my NIV study Bible, which gives you a lot of context, a lot of points of reference, a lot of like background, perspective. And it just kind of really hit me that this world is in a strong delusion. And it's unfortunate, you know. I was reading Proverbs, and you know, Solomon is, so a lot of Proverbs is believed to be from King Solomon, which is, you know, Mr. Wise Man, Mr. Wisdom, you know. And so he prayed for wisdom, so it was granted to him. He was the wisest of all men on earth. And to think of the fact that the wisest man, the man with all of this knowledge, wisdom, favor and proof of the Lord, was still able to be coaxed away and taken off of the path and the track. And all of it being due to lust, greed, pride. It's a delusion, and it's unfortunate. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 really just talks about, you know, the day of the Lord and the coming of Antichrist and all that stuff. Like, they didn't say that in those exact words, but from the description you can kind of tell it's like the start of the rebellion and the things that are to come. And it's crazy because one of the things, actually, let me just read a little section of it. But one of the things that they say about it is like about this person coming in with these counterfeit signs and wonders. And I cannot help but to think about Neuralink. If you don't know what Neuralink is, it's actually this chip thing that Elon Musk is trying to back. And he's basically trying to utilize it to implant it into people so that the blind can see. One of the many miracles of the Lord, that the deaf can hear. One of the many miracles of the Lord, you know, people that are having mental issues and dementia. I think it's like all types of different things. But okay, before I do that, let me read the Bible, and I'm gonna give you a little bit more actual details about Neuralink and not just paraphrase. Okay, so 2 Thessalonians 2, so it says, "Now, dear brothers and sisters, let us clarify some things about the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and how we will be gathered to meet him. Don't be so easily shaken or alarmed by those who say that the day of the Lord has already begun. Don't believe them, even if they claim to have had a spiritual vision, a revelation, or a letter supposedly from us. Don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will not come until there is a great rebellion against God, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the one who brings destruction. He will exalt himself and defy everything that people call God and every object. Don't you just love the English language? And he will exalt himself and defy everything that people call God and every object of worship. He will even sit in the temple of God, claiming that he himself is God. Don't you remember that I told you about this when I was with you, and you know what is holding him back, for he can be revealed only when his time comes. For this lawlessness is already at work secretly, and it will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way. Then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Jesus will slay him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming. This man will come to do the work of Satan, counterfeit powers and signs and miracles. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So God will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they will believe these lies. Then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth. Okay, so that was 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. I read from 1 all the way to 12. So I'm pretty sure every generation has had that moment where they feel like end times. And even in the book it says like, hey, everybody who says that, don't just run with that. You know, there are things that have to happen. There's an order, there's a plan, there's a process that has to happen in order for that to come to pass. Just because things look dim or crazy right now doesn't necessarily mean that it automatically is the end time. But I look around and I'm just looking at the world and I'm like, I don't know, Lord. It's getting very spooky. And like I said, I want to give you a little bit of information about the Neuralink. And unfortunately, like, the easiest way for me to give you this information is based on AI, which is also you know, artificial intelligence or angel intelligence or whatever they want to call it. But I'm just going to use the Google definition just to give you a basic idea of what Neuralink is. It says Neuralink is a neurotechnology company that develops brain-computer interfaces. They're implantable devices that are used. God, can I read? They are implantable devices that use electrodes to record and stimulate brain activity. The goal is to allow people to control devices with their thoughts. How it works: a robotic device implants ultra-thin threads with electrodes in the brain, and then the electrodes record the activity of the neurons, which sends messages through the body. The thread connects to a chip that reads the data from the neurons, and the chip can translate the neuron signals into computer command. So basically, the potential uses are helping paralyzed people regain control of their limbs, restoring vision in blind people, restoring sensory and motor function in people with spinal cord injuries or neurological disorders, allowing people to control devices like computers and smartphones with their brainwaves. It was founded in 2016 by Elon Musk and a team of scientists and engineers. So they want people to walk that couldn't walk. They want people to see that couldn't see. They want people to hear that couldn't hear. I think they even got the hear thing already. Just different. And it's like all these makeshift counterfeit miracles that, although in the earthly and natural, we look at that as, oh my God, what a positive thing, a great thing. But I'm like, if these things come to pass, this is taking us further and closer to possibly being in line for what the Bible predicted, you know. It's a lot going on, but it's just to think that I'm reading the book of Proverbs and all the wisdom and all the smart advice, all the knowledge that's there, and this man is still fell short. And we all fall short, but like, he really dropped the ball. Because you imagine like having, I don't know, he just really dropped the ball. Like, he is a descendant of David. Like, you really dropped the ball. And I mean, David dropped the ball a time or two as well. So I guess, you know, we can't just sit there and expect the men to be greater than what they are. We are just flesh. But it's just really disappointing that if the wisest man in the world, the wisest man in history, could fall short and be under a delusion based off of the portals and the open doors that he has in his life, i.e. The women that he brought into his life, i.e. the people who he was around. Like, we have to be so careful about who we marry, who we date, who we call our friends, who we take counsel from. Like, this is the wisest man, and somehow he was able to be coerced into worshiping other small g gods because of his penis. He was so controlled by lust and the love of foreign women and women who just were not a part of his destiny. He forced them into his destiny, and they strayed him away from the Lord. And it's so disheartening. How many of us have been strayed away from our actual destiny? And God can still redeem us, still restore us, don't get me wrong. But it's just like, how many times have counterfeits and the people who we have brought into our lives gotten us so far off course, made our lives so much more difficult? There's lessons in all of them, and there's blessings in all of them, and everything that happens to us happens for a reason. And like I said, the Lord can and will restore us as good as new, if not better. But it just sucks when you really think about it. I went to go see a movie, and it was the one with Kiki Palmer, One of Them Days, and I didn't know if I wanted to watch it because I'm not really a huge fan of SZA. I know that musically, as a person, she's probably a great person. You know, I love all of God's people, and that's just how that has to be. But the things that she promotes, and even in the movie, she wants everybody to know she's a witch, okay? She don't care what medium it is, whether it's music, whether it's a movie, whether it's an interview, whatever. She wants people to know that she likes the witchcraft, okay? But I was a little bit conflicted about it because I'm really a fan of Kiki Palmer, but neither here nor there. I went to go see it. It was actually cute. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too like super salacious or anything like that. So I'm glad about that. Some funny moments, and I really did enjoy it. But like, I'm not gonna tell you the movie, but it just goes to show you the people who you have in your life really can take you off course. And just because you love somebody doesn't mean that they're supposed to go with you, doesn't mean that their delusion has to become your delusion. Just because you love somebody doesn't mean that you have to allow them to just wreak havoc in your life. And you know, we all have our choices to make, and King Solomon made choices that he had to suffer the consequences for. And you know, deciding to have a spouse in your life, or a friend in your life, or a job in your life that is not aligned with your morality and your, you know, your values, these things can truly take you off course. And even in the movie, like, you know, things can happen from someone else's silly mistakes. Life-altering things can occur, and your life could be in danger. Your livelihood, your purpose can be in danger. Your walk with the Lord can be in danger, and it all based off of just having dealings with certain people. So I'm not gonna necessarily promote it. You know, I would say consult the Holy Spirit and see if it's okay for you to partake in. Also, just another side note, when you're going to the movies, guys, the trailers and the before, they really love to put horror in that section. I believe that they do that because you're forced to be there, and you're forced to intake that. A lot of people don't watch horror on their free time. You know, there are people who love horror movies and opening portals in their home and not knowing it. But in the movie theater, they really love to show horror trailers. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it's a thing. It actually kind of makes you not want to go to the movies sometimes. But I have gotten myself into the practice of closing my eyes and using those times, pray, cover everybody in the auditorium, or whatever you call it, the theater. Cover them and pray for them and close my eyes. Keep my eyes off of that. I do not need that in my psyche. I don't want that stuff implanted in my mind. So when you go to the movie theaters, guys, pay attention next time, and just pay attention to how they try to force you to look at the horror stuff. Even like YouTube, like if you don't have premium and you have ads, they're going to try to have unskippable horror ads, because this is how they open up doors and open up things in your mind, open up portals, open up your subconscious to the spiritual things that they're trying to have you come into agreement with or not cast down. I just had to get that out the way because it was really bad on this movie. The pre-trailers with just all demonic stuff. Like, it's so much demonic stuff coming out. It's crazy. But yeah, I really went on a tangent. But I just really want you guys to know that they do that on purpose because you're quote unquote forced there. So even if you're a little old lady who doesn't want to see any of this horror stuff, you know, this is not your genre, you're at the movies eating your popcorn, so you just watch it and wait for it to go off. But if you're not actively, you know, coming out of agreement with that, not watching it, not partaking in it, I feel like it could be an open door. Just something to be cautious of, because it's the enemy will try to find any way in, especially in these days and times. And unfortunately, we are living in a secular world, and you have to try to figure out how to be in a secular world but still function and still be able to move around and not be bound in fear or bound by, you know, like a Pharisee and things like that. It's a very hard balance. I won't lie to you on that. But if we really realized how many people around us were truly just in a delusion of not really understanding reality, and even like TikTok and stuff, like they literally go on there and say, you know, I'm delusional, I'm, you know, like they brag about it. And it's like, you're saying that you're coming into an agreement with the spirit of delusion, and you are living that out by the choices that you're making, the decisions that you're making, the people who you're dating, the people who you're choosing, the places that you're going show that you are not in touch with reality. You are not in touch with truth of in any way. Like, you'll take literally anything that's thrown your way because you don't have a grasp on reality, and it's scary. So I would just pray that as we are navigating this elevation, we're being cautious of the people that surround us, and that we're not just trauma bonded to people, or that we're not just making pledges to people and things and organizations all willy-nilly. There's actually a verse, I was just reading it, it was in Proverbs 22, 26 to 27. Be not one of those who give pledges, who put up security for debts. If you have nothing with which to pay, why should your bed be taken from under you? Pledging things with people, making soul ties with people. Gotta be careful with that, guys, because it's so easy and it's so sneaky. It's like, I want to be your friend forever. Are you sure of that? We locked in forever. That's a pledge. You're making a agreement with this person, and guess what? You don't know the plans God has for you. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't even know their heart. You don't know their true intentions. You don't know if they're a season or reason. You don't know if they're a lifelong person. You don't know if they're wheat or tear. So you just come into agreement with being locked in for life with somebody who, whether spouse, platonic, friendship, or whatever, you know, you're making these pledges, and the spirit realm does not have a sense of humor. The spirit realm does not care about context. The spirit realm doesn't care about jokes and I don't know. But I hope this episode is helpful for you guys. I'm so sorry, my battery's about to die, so I'm gonna get out of here. I will see you guys on the next one. This was a rant. I'm sorry, y'all. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Ain't that funny? The battery, now if I had kept on doing my episode, the battery would have stopped. But it's all good. It's all good.